wisdom is not only found in textbooks. Their knowledge is born out of observation, experience, and relationship with natural world. In this report, we will focus on two groups, the Ifugao of Luzon and Tibuli of Mindanao. Through them, we will see how indigenous livelihood and technology remain alive and relevant in their age of modernization.
The indigenous people of the Philippines are incredibly diverse, and each group has its own unique way of living. In Luzon, we have the Igorots, Ifugao, Kalinga, and Aita. These groups live in mountainous areas, so their livelihoods are often farming, hunting, and weaving. The Kalinga, for example, are well known for their pottery and tattooing traditions, while the Ifugao are masters of rice terraces farming. In Palawan and Visayas, groups like the Palawan and Api rely heavily on fishing, gathering forest products, and small-scale farming. Some groups still practice hunting and gathering, carefully balancing what they take from nature with what they give back. In Mindanao, the Lumad people such as the Tibuli, Manubo, Bagubo, and Bandaya are known for their colorful attires, musical instruments, brass casting, and weaving. They also farm rice, corn, root crops, and fruit-bearing trees. A common theme among indigenous groups is sustainability. They only take what is needed and often perform rituals before hunting, fishing, or farming. This shows awareness of nature's balance. Another shared characteristic is community-based technology. For example, the Aita creates bamboo traps for animals. The Mangyan of Mindoro developed the Hanunas script, an indigenous writing system carved on bamboo. The Ivatan of Batanes built strong stone houses called Vapul and Ivatan, houses to withstand strong typhoons. All of these prove that indigenous technology is not primitive. It is practical, innovative, and tailored to the environment. This contribution shows how indigenous people have always been inventors and scientists in their own way.
Let us now focus on the Ifugao people of Northern Luzon. The most famous symbol of Ifugao generally is the rice terraces of Banawe, Batad, and Buluan. These terraces are massive stair-like fields carved into the mountainsides, covering about 10,000 square kilometers. Historians estimate they are more than 2,000 years old. The terraces are not just beautiful, they are product of indigenous technology. Without bulldozers or modern machines, the Ifugao built retaining walls of stone and clay. They designed a gravity-based irrigation system that channels water from mountain system into every territorial level. This shows deep engineering knowledge passed down from generation to generation. For livelihood, the Ifugao grow rice and vegetables. The rice varieties like Ilauhan rice are rare and grow only in these terraces. Rice farming is the heart of their culture, connected to festival, rituals, and even the calendar of activities. The Ifugao are also skilled in wood carving. The most recognizable piece is the bulol, the rice barjan figure. It is believed to bring
design. Each design takes months to complete, making every Tinala clock unique. The Tinala clock used for rituals, marriages, and even as a form of offering. But weaving is only one livelihood. The Tibuli also practice brass casting using the lost wax method. These involve shaping beeswax into a mold, covering it with clay, and then melting the wax away to form a hollow brass items. They create bells, jewelry, containers, and instruments. Fishing in Lake Cebu is a natural livelihood, along with farming rice, corns, and green crops. Some Tibuli also make beadwork, embroidery, and musical instruments like the hegala, a long string lute. For Tibuli, livelihood is deeply cultural. A piece of Tinala is not only a product of history, a dream, and a connection to their ancestors. Their technologies may seem simple, but they are a result of generation of skills, creativity, and respect for nature.
The Ifugao and Tibuli showcase the richness of indigenous livelihood and technology. But in today's modern times, these practices face many challenges. Modernization is one of the biggest factors. Many indigenous youth now pursue education, with some finishing high school and college. This is positive. It proves that indigenous people are not left behind in society. In fact, many become teachers, nurses, engineers, and leaders. They show that you can be indigenous and modern at the same time. However, there are risks. When some young people move to cities for education or jobs, they may lose touch with traditional skills like weaving, carving, and farming. Some prefer modern work over traditional livelihood, which can cause cultural practices to slowly fade. Another challenge is land ownership and resource use. Indigenous lands are often threatened by mining, logging, and commercial development. When they lose their ancestral roots, they also lose the foundation of their livelihood systems. Still, many indigenous gradually return home to teach and advocate for their communities. They serve as bridges combining modern education with traditional knowledge. Preservation efforts include schools, living traditions or SLTS, where elders monitor the youth in crafts, farming, and rituals. Cultural festivals like the Dinala Festival in South Cotabato and Imbayang Festival in Ifugao also showcase their artistry. The National Commission on Indigenous People or NCIP works to protect ancestral lands and promote rights. This shows us that indigenous livelihood and technologies are not relics of the past. They are living traditions that must be nurtured in the present while adapting to modern times.
In conclusion, the indigenous livelihood and technology of the Ifugao and Tibuli are shining examples of human creativity, resilience, and harmony with nature. The Ifugao rice terraces demonstrate how people can engineer landscape without harming the environment. The Tibuli's Sinal weaving shows how art, spirituality, and livelihood can be one. These practices teach us that